Hey guys, and welcome to another video of the Parrot Bros. Now, I thought I'd just do a video, basically I'm at a crossroads, I don't know what to do with it next, and I kind of want to get your opinion and just maybe talk it through with you. Maybe if I say it out loud, I might be able to make a better decision. So before we get stuck into it, let's jump into the intro. Okay, so as you may have guessed by the thumbnail, I'm undecided on what to do. Now, I absolutely love the car. I'm kind of at that crossroads, which I guess most of you are, which is why I kind of wanted to throw it out there to everyone, because I really appreciate your input. And basically, I'm at this crossroads where I don't know what to do next. Now, there's a few options on the table, and there's also maybe not doing anything at all. I can't really decide. So basically, next on the table is, do I, over the winter and next year, do I forge it? Now, the issues I have with this, and this is mainly money, is the fact that obviously this has done nearly 200,000 miles. So if I'm going to be forging it, as in forge rods, do I upgrade the pistons? Do I do a full engine build? Because it's done nearly 200,000 miles, the likelihood is everything's probably scrapped. So I'll have to change everything, do all the valves, do obviously valve and springs, which is what you do anyway if you're going to forge it, and rods, which is normally where you sort of draw the line. But then, am I going to need a new oil pump? Am I going to need... Obviously, I'm going to need new injectors, then I'm going to need a new turbo. I'll probably need to get some engine work done because it's done nearly 200,000 miles. The head might be scrap. I might need a new block. Who knows? And then once you start doing that, then you're looking at head bolts, you're looking at gasket sets. And clutches, because you're going to need a clutch, because obviously you're going to go for more power. Even if you were to, say, for instance, do a hybrid with the Forge kit, you're still going to need to look at a new clutch, I'm guessing, because this one's, again, done quite a few miles, plus a flywheel. And I mean, I had a quick tot up with me doing the work myself, and you're looking at about $4,000 plus. So, and that's being sort of reasonably tight with stuff. If I was to buy a slightly bigger turbo, I'm in for a couple of grand, then I've got to change the downpipe, and then that bumps the bill up to sort of $6,000. So, and that's me doing the work myself. So there's quite a big one, plus the fact that this is like well, this car was 1,500 quid. Obviously it's not worth that now, but it's probably not worth masses, and to spend another 5 or 6 grand on it, is it really worth it? Do I need 400 brake? I've already got 400 brake there. Not as quick, of course, but sounds lovely. So that's one of the options. Do I do a full build? I know obviously some of you are going to want me to do a build so you can watch it, but I don't know. I can't decide whether it's worth it or not, because obviously this car, while it runs, do I do the other option, which is I could put a cage in, say 600 quid to £1,000, not too bad. Change the tyres, 400 or 500 quid, so maybe in for 1,500 quid. I need to swap the front shocks over because I've got coilovers sat in the garage behind you, but I've not had the time or the weather. But basically, I just want to get this. Do I get it track ready and just spend all that money just doing track days, maybe take it to the ring, maybe take it to Scotland again, and just do as much as I can in it? I'm quite a big believer of using your car, hence the reason for the channel, obviously, to try and keep all these old cars going and enjoying them. I'd rather do 100,000 miles in it and make it look used, covered in stone chips, and it be enjoyed, than do 500 miles and keep it clean and just show people and not really drive it and enjoy it. Because at the end of the day, when I go, who's going to have it? Maybe the scrapyard, maybe someone else, and they're going to race and rally it, so I may as well enjoy it first, eh? There's no point keeping it nice for the next guy. So that's the other options. Or do I just leave it completely standard, or like completely as it is, and just use it as a bit of a sort of a daily, not a daily, but like a drive around car during the day, the weekends, do a few track days. I'm definitely going to change the tyres, because on the track day they were absolute garbage, but it's my own fault because I knew that road tyres were never going to keep up with some of the track stuff. But to be honest, I've got the car really where I want it. Oh, the other thing I was going to say, actually, when I was doing track prep, we call it track prep, was bucket seats. So it'd be bucket seats, a cage, and tyres, which is probably about £2,000. So that's still a lot cheaper than forging it. But then if I blow it up while doing track days, then I'm back at the at the crossroads again. It's a tough decision to make, especially when the car's not particularly valuable, because then it's just a case of, do you want to do it? Are you going to want to keep it for a long time? Because the cost of making these fast is very expensive. If you're just looking to do buy a car and do a few track days, and you're not looking for like forged, bigger turbo, more boost, etc., you can make sort of 280-ish horsepower with the right mods, and you can also get about 300 foot-pound is kind of where they draw the line without bending rods. So I mean that's decent power on a track. Most kit cars are 150 to 200, so obviously they're a lot lighter, but 280 is plenty for a track day. I mean, you see Clio 182s flying around. They're not even 200 horsepower. So if you can spend the additional money on maybe getting this, like I've done with a full polybrush kit, do the suspension, get it set up properly. That is one of the biggest things. If you put the right suspension on but don't set it up, don't get some sort of like Hunter's four-wheel alignment and geo, get the right geo so you're towing in, towing out, and all that kind of stuff, then it will drive like a bag of crap. But if you spend maybe 80 to 120 pound at one of these places where they'll do a full setup, there's loads of companies available. If you need any information, let me know, because I can give you a few recommendations. But if you get it set up properly, it will go around the track a lot better. It may not feel great on the road, but it'll be brilliant on track. You do just need to pick what you want to do with it. So I'm kind of at that crossroads. Hopefully we can have a good chat in the comments. Let me know what you do. Just remember, so there's kind of the three options, is either do nothing and enjoy it, because obviously I've got the white leather interior, I've got the nice steering wheel, the seat delete, all that kind of stuff, and just enjoy it. Maybe change the tyres, but tyres are tyres. So that's kind of the using and make the most of the car. Then I've got the option of maybe the track spec, which is doing the cage and the buckets, and then just doing a few tweaks to it. So it's a couple of grand, or it's the all-out build. Now, I wanted to do it, and then the more I looked into it, the problem is if you're going to do it, you've got to do it right, especially if you're filming and people are watching. I'm joking. You've got to do it right regardless what happens, because obviously if you don't, you'll say spend 2 grand doing it cheap, and then you have an issue when it comes to mapping, then you have to take it all back out and do it all over again, which is uneconomical. And if you're going to do it, you've got to do it right, because you want to go for the most power you can. I mean, if you were going to forge this, so forge rods, you can reuse the pistons if you want, because they are forged if you have a BAM, or you can obviously upgrade the pistons. You do the exhaust valves and springs, because they're the ones that usually fail or get float. And if you were to put a bigger turbo on like a TFSI off of the Golf Mark 5 GTI, or a hybrid, or maybe a slightly larger turbo than currently stock, you could expect to get anywhere from sort of 340 to 400 kind of horsepower. The 064, which is off of the GTIs, is a really great turbo. That's what Aaron has on his Leon, and he makes 360-ish brake, 360 foot-pounds, and that is just what we class as a soft build. That's what he classes a soft build, which is just forged rods and exhaust valves and springs, and plus obviously some alterations to the turbo and exhaust and stuff, and the intake. But that's wicked fast round track. It's light, stripped out cage, slightly wider, buckets, all the kind of things that you'd want from a track car. But again, if you're going to do it yourself, it's you go into Kloss. He's got a performance clutch. The build keeps going and going and going. If you're going to build the engine, obviously you want to do a new gasket set, you want to do a new oil pump, you want to do new tensioners. All these things, if you buy genuine, are going to add up, and you're going to be straight up there to 6-7 grand. I mean, by all means, I'm sure Barclaycard will be very happy with you, but your partner might not. But yeah, I just kind of wanted to get your feedback. Let me know what you do. Would you just enjoy it as it is and spend 6 grand, or not 6 grand, but spend all that money on petrol and going out to places, going on trips? Because fingers crossed, next year is going to be a good year for loads of trips. We're definitely going to do some, so keep an eye out. I'll put some details on our Facebook and Instagram when we're planning on trips, because I'm going to try and do 3 or 4 trips, maybe a track day as well, try and get everyone in the community together. It'd be nice just to go on a road trip, maybe Scotland again, because that North Coast 500 is just perfection. The weather may not be so much, but what can you do? Out driving the car is all good. So yeah, jump into the comments. I want to know, everyone who watches this video, give me your opinion. What would you do? And then we'll see what happens from there. Bye for now, guys. I'll see you on the next one.